Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. This is the match reaction for Wolves' win at Goodison Park. I've got to be honest, I didn't go to the game today. I sold my ticket. I've got to work. I'm actually in North Wales or in Mid Wales at the moment, and I watched the whole match on the iPad. I'm lost for words. With 3 games into the season, 3 defeats, no goals. Um, the fact of the reality is there are still 35 games in this Premier League season. 35 games to go. We've only played 3, but there's no evidence on what I've seen that anything will change without bringing in more players. Now, I'm not saying, yeah, bring in a striker, that'll change. If we get Beto, everything will change. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking the fullbacks are terrible. Ashley Young is slow, he's sluggish, his delivery is. He was the best player for Wolves today, put it that way. Kept passing it back into the goalkeeper's hands. And Patterson positioning is awful. He's got no strength, no aggression. Gets caught out for that goal. So does Tarkowski, mind you. But I'm looking at him and I'm thinking he's too lightweight. He's not Premier League. Midfield, Onana, Doucouré, and Gay. The distribution and the lack of guile and quality in there in terms of actual creativity. Yes, they're good and tenacious, and they can run around and get their foot in. That's fantastic. But they've got no actual guile in there. And then the manager today puts James Garner on the wing. He's playing in right mid. It's completely anonymous. Might as well not have had anyone there. Unless I've completely misread this game. He was positionally, I don't know what he's doing. When you're a right winger in a team playing 4-3-3 or 4-5-1, you've got to get down the byline or at least try and impact the game in some capacity. But he's not influencing the game in that position. He's just stuck out wide, basically trying to cover for Patterson's mistakes and poor positioning. And then up top, obviously, Danjuma was bright, but there's no composure with the finishing. And it's not an isolated issue with Danjuma. Yes, he had a couple of chances where he's hit it in vain. Collectively, the finishing is abysmal. We created chance after chance. In the first half of the game, let's be honest, Everton were the better team. We probably should have been out of sight. We should have been 1 or 2-0. It felt very similar to the Wolves game. But you just knew the longer that game went on, it was just inevitable Wolves would score. It was inevitable. And Steve, I'm working. I go every single match when I'm not working. I've got a season ticket, mate. So you can be putting time out. No time for that. I was going to say we were the better team, and it felt like completely inevitable that Everton would eventually concede a goal. And it was, of course, Fabio Silva running off the back of Jared Branthwaite, ruled offside. Very, very tight. But he should. Yeah, TJ Mid saying nobody can get home. I've got like 6 people at the match. I'm going live straight after the game. What do you want me to do? Superhuman, race home in a plane and get on. Even if I was at the match, no one can get live that quickly. Fabio Silva, who couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo, gets in front of Branthwaite, and it's 1-0, ruled off narrowly for offside. You think that's it, that they're going to get a sniff, they're going to get another chance. And as soon as that second half, the longer that second half went on, the players tired. Obviously, Dobbin, who came off. Now, on Dobbin, he needed to just do the basics right. In the first half of the game, he's trying to turn every time. He's trying to do something too complicated, but he's playing in his own half. You can do that. That's fine. When you're in the opposition half, you can be creative. You can be clever. You can try and make something happen. But he needed to simplify his game. Anyway, he tired. He couldn't get the better of Semedo. He came off. Danjuma went to left midfield. He didn't really have any impact. I think there was one time he got the ball in across the front of goal, and Chimiti, who'd come on as a substitute, was beaten for it, and it went out for a corner. But he was tired. He was absolutely exhausted. Playing out their backsides, really. It just felt by that point, obviously, then Chimiti comes on, Danjuma goes on the wing. There was no other substitutions. You're not looking, there's not many options there, but I'm just thinking, we lost the energy levels, we lost the creativity, we lost the chance creation, we lost the width, we had no pace, we couldn't get behind them. And every effing time we had a corner or a set piece or a chance to get the ball into the box, it was either overhit wildly by Nathan Patterson, who can't cross a ball, or by Ashley Young, who plays it straight into Jose Sar's hands. And then when we did get chances to score, as I say, the composure wasn't there, the finishing wasn't there, or the keeper just pulled off a worldie. So, that's my match reaction. I'm telling myself there's 35 more games, but at the same time, I can't sit through 35. I'm sure none of us can sit through 35 more games of that, because it's woeful. It is woeful. I'm going to see if I can just get someone coming out of Goodison. So I'm just going to share the link, if that's okay. Bear with me 1 second. You're watching. Thanks for joining on. Amanda, thank you so much for the donation. Much appreciated. I'm not asking for Dyche to be sacked. I'm asking for Dyche to be better. I think our substitutions were slow. I know we didn't have many options, but anyone could see we were tiring. You could see we were lacking creativity in midfield, and that we needed James Garner moved inside. Neil Maupay obviously didn't come on, but you felt like maybe his energy and movement could have given us something possibly in the build-up, where Decore is just so slow and laboured and wants 20 touches on the ball every time. And you can hear Dyche screaming at the players, faster, faster, faster. And every time it's slow and laboured. And then the lack of the brain. The brain is just not there. You've got Pickford in the last minute booting it downfield to nobody, and Ashley Young delivering it into the 6-yard box where the keeper can claim it. I'm just struggling so badly there to find positives, other than the fact that there's 35 more games and that Beto is coming in for 30 million euros. But genuinely, I've got to be honest, even if Beto signs, which he will be tomorrow by the looks of it, you can't account for like Patterson not heading that away at the back post, or the keeper not coming out to claim it, or Tarkowski not getting his head on it and getting his body position right, or Ashley Young giving the ball away in the build up to that goal, not getting the block in. I'm going to give you some positives then, because you can see the comments coming in. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. I know you hate the result. I hate the result. It's absolutely infuriating, but please like the video. It helps with the algorithm and where these videos show. And make sure you subscribe and support the channel. John Jones is saying lots of positives. I'll give you a positive. Okay. Jared Brantwaite was good for 99% of the game. He was composed and dealt with everything that he could have. I need to see the goal back that Wolves scored that was disallowed, but it looked like he got the better of. So I'm going to say that Jared Brantwaite overall was a positive. I'm going to say that the rest of them, Onana for most of that game was very good in midfield with his tackling and his build-up, his distribution and his tenacity and his positioning. But you've got the three of them all holding each other's hands. You've got Garner, you've got Decore, you've got Onana, all three of them kind of in the same area of the pitch. And you're thinking, we need more creativity. We need more pace. We need someone who can get beyond someone or make something happen. We haven't got it. And then you're looking at James Garner and he's lost. He's lost on the wing. Bring him inside. Bring him inside. And there was no option. In fairness, there was no options. There was no options. There was no one who could bring on the bench to play on the wing. You could see that later on. He's bringing Tom Cannon on with 5 minutes to go when we're desperate for a goal. Refusing to bring Neil Maupay on. Chucking Michael Keane up front with 4 minutes left. I'm absolutely ashamed. But at the same time, I have two ways of looking at this. We were probably, over the 90 minutes, we were probably the better team. We were probably 60-40 the better team in that match. And I'd say we don't deserve to lose. But at the same time, you make your own luck. You have your own quality. We've failed to take the chances in the first half. We failed to, capitalise on that. We've lost our energy. We haven't had the options on the bench. And then we've been sucker punched. And I'm looking at the comments and I'm thinking, yeah, some people are saying Dyche is completely at fault. Other people are saying blame Dyche. It's disgusting. Other people are disagreeing with me. I agree with a lot of people what they're saying about, Doucouré working really hard and winning the ball back, but you've got three players in that midfield who haven't got any creativity. You can't beat a man who haven't got any pace, who haven't got any guile, who are not going to score a goal from outside the box or make something happen. So that's why I'm saying, there are problems and this is dysfunctional. You can't pin this all necessarily on a striker. Can you really pin this all on a striker? I'm just going to share the link again and see if I can get. Wolves are a poor team. Let's get this straight. They'll be close to the bottom of the league. They haven't got goals in them. The goal they scored was a freak goal, a cross-come shot, and it should have been easily dealt with. Did it go straight in the net from out wide? If you don't laugh, you'll cry. I've had my little rant. Let's try and look at this a little bit more objectively. Try and get some people in. I think I've got one. I've got my mate, Robbie. Robbie, there's 300 people watching live. If you don't laugh, you cry. I mean, that has to be the only thing. I don't know if you've heard my little rant. I don't think I'm wrong in what I'm saying, though.
No, not at all. Not at all. I was just looking at the table again. Played 3, lost 3, 4-0, nothing, no goals, -6. That's not good. Do you know what? We looked at the Fulham game, should have got something out of it. Fortunately, we didn't. Again, probably the better team again today, without a shadow of a doubt. But we all know that Wolves can sort of pickpocket teams, can't they? They've got a lot of pace there. As soon as he brought that 6'7" galoot on, I went, oh my God, here we go. They're just going to bang them in the box. And I think he scored within 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And I just went sick. But that's just the way it is. At the moment, that's just Everton. We can't do it on the pitch. And we can't do it off the pitch. Having said that, we're going to get a new stadium. But I don't know if we're going to be, in all fairness, based on what we're seeing there now, I don't know if we're going to be in the Premiership. I'm going to say the First Division then, because I've got my retro top on.
Yeah.
If you're looking at that now, because we play Sheffield United next week, and then, I mean, we haven't played the top teams yet, have we? So
no. So I mean, this is the thing that makes it even more insufferable. Let's have a reality chat. I'm not being negative and I'm not being reactionary. This is off the back of 2 years that have been absolutely crap. I'm not looking at this as a new season with 3 games. This is kind of like a continuation of the 3 games. We've not played anyone decent at home yet. We've played Fulham and we've played Wolves. 2 teams that Everton have to beat at home if they want to be a Premier League team. We're not going to be winning a lot of games away from home. I predict Robbie will win maybe 3 games all season away from home. We'll probably draw 4 away from home, and lose all the other games. So I'm looking at potentially 13 points from away games, and you need 35, 36, 37 points. I think the rest of the league have improved. I think it's going to be Sheffield United, Luton and us that will be relegated as it stands, because I'm looking for another team to be worse than us to have so many issues. I mean, Robbie, I don't know what your thoughts are, but Patterson, for me, he's going to need a lot of coaching and a lot of time. And I don't think we have that. Ashley Young, for me today, the amount of times he crossed it or passed it into the goalkeeper or gave it straight back to them or was caught out or so easily beaten by a Wolves more mobile and agile winger. I'm looking at the fullbacks and thinking they're woeful. I'm looking at midfield and thinking there's no creativity or pace or guile in there, apart from James Garner. And I'm looking at the wide options, and I know you can literally turn this whole match reaction on its head and be very calm and say, we've got 35 games to go. We're getting a quality striker in for 30 million euros. We've got Jack Harrison, Dwight McNeil, Alex Iwobi, Calvert-Lewin all to come back. We'll probably get someone like Kamadine Sulemana on loan from Southampton. will probably, Che Adams could even come in and Neil Maupay leave, Andre Gomez can leave. So you can spin this and say, let's be calm, let's react. We were the better team, we'll come good. But I think, Robbie, if I'm honest with you, the 365 people watching live on YouTube and Facebook, and now 376 people, they don't want me to come and sit on here and be a bit calm, because I don't think that the fan base right now feels that zen.
Yeah, I mean, it's directly after the event now, isn't it? So we're all tense. We feel like we've failed again. It's going to be another rubbish weekend, and going into work next week, bit of flack in work and whatever, because we all know where it comes from. And you feel it. Spinning it, I've got to say, Ryan, I think we're going to have to find a way of trying to spin it, because we're all feeling the pain. We're all going to be depressed, and the way you've just spun it there, it actually gave me a little bit of hope, because I'm just thinking, oh my God, here we go again. So that's no match of the day. We're all the same. We're all part of this blue family, and I mean, I go back like decades when you saw the passion and you saw us winning things and whatever. I mean, now that's why I brought a retro top. I can't associate myself now with the current crop. I just can't. So I'm going back in time, hoping that this is going to give us a bit of a lifeline, but it certainly didn't today. We had a few chances, but their goalie, he kind of reminded me of something from the 70s. He played his area well, and it's kind of like he played us, because he was dominant in the area. And
Robbie,
again, with a little bit more luck, we'd have scored a few goals. But you said earlier, you make your own luck.
Robbie, the finishing was not good. I mean, we can talk about Jose Sarr. He did pull off a fantastic save from, I believe, Decore. But you're looking, the margins are so fine in this game. Decore is offside. It was probably not quite a line call. They got the lines on the screen. I could see with the naked eye he was offside. But the margins are so tight at this level. You create those margins, I think, with what we've done with the goal, where you're lackadaisical centre half and you're not getting a foot in to stop the cross. You're giving the ball away in the build-up. You're failing to get your keeper to communicate that Patterson has to head it away. The whole thing, we allow those margins to go away from us. We've allowed, Wolves to take control of the situation. We allowed Wolves over 70 minutes to come back into the game and to have a good chance. I am completely disconnected from this group. I'm not looking at them and thinking I like many of them, I'll be honest. And I feel really for the young generation of fans coming through who are kids and like trying to look at this group and think, who do I idolize here? Because there's nothing really that likable about any of them.
Yeah, fair point. I'm sure the kids are made up. I'm sure the Evertonian boys and girls are made up that they're off school through some of all these, because then they can hide from the mates, can't they? Because, I mean, ultimately, that's what it comes to, isn't it? It doesn't matter how old you are. If you're a blue, and the pain is, it's kind of, if it's getting worse, I try and, I said at the start of all the streams, got to stay positive, but Ryan, it's hard. The only hope we've got is, as you said there before, that little spin. And in all fairness, we just mentioned Beto. I tell you what, if we could shake his hand, I'd shake his hand if he wants to come to us looking at the way we are now. He mustn't know too much about us at the moment. Or he actually thinks, do you know what, I can go there and do a job for them.
Signal's gone. Let me refresh.
Ryan coming live from Portmarnock down in mid Wales. Yeah, just as I was saying there, boys and girls, 30 million. I'm quite amazed at how we've found that money for Beto, and we couldn't find 5 million for Che Adams. I'm not saying Che Adams is the answer, but I'm a bit baffled as to like what's going on at the moment. I just thought I'd carry on waffling there, Ryan, while you were.
That's okay. I don't think we didn't decide that we don't have the 5 million for Che Adams. I think we've evidently got the 5 million. We're using it for Beto. We've explored all the options. We've had bids in for them. Che Adams not in the Southampton squad today. Possibly could see him coming in and Neil Maupay going out the club on loan, and also Tom Canning going out the club on loan. And then you're looking at that and you've got Calvert-Lewin, who, you know, I think Dyche ultimately would like to play 4-4-2 in some instances. And he'll have options there. I think Chimiti's debut was reasonable. I think he lacked a little bit of aggression early on, but once he found his feet, he looked like he was putting himself about. I'm fairly excited about the prospects of him, you know, over time. He's 19 years old. You know, he's going to take time to develop, but I'm optimistic about him. I'm optimistic about Lewis Dobbin as well coming through. But I think, you know, simplify your game when you're in your own half. And I think when you've got the chance, then you can be a little bit more quality. Just going back to the goalkeeper though, for them, you know, the Robbie, you know, the chances we created, the finishing was poor. You know, we didn't necessarily. The goalkeeper wasn't necessarily pulling off world-class saves. He was catching a ball that was basically fired into him, very close to him, or the finishing was off target, or it was too close to him, and it's not clinical. It's like, it's in there. The biggest problem is in the heads.
Yeah, I think he did pull off a cracker in the 67th minute, Ryan, on where Decore had a diving header, and he tipped it onto the bar and over. So that was like, there was kind of a chance gone. So that was, but same again. Pickford made a cracking save as well, didn't he? So they had the goal disallowed as well for VAR, didn't he? So it was, they were always going to be a threat. And Sheffield United must fancy the chances against us next week. They're down the bottom, but they're at home. They're going to look. Do we play midweek, by the way, Ryan? Are we playing Doncaster midweek?
Is it Tuesday night on the 30th?
I think it is, yeah. So we've got a game midweek before.
Mate? F it, because I'm like, the team at the moment is completely repulsive. I don't think getting a striker will really adjust some of the other dysfunctional things, and the fullbacks are going to kill us this season. They really are. They're not a good combination of fullbacks. You have to. They're not using their brains. You know, they're not using their heads in front of goal, and then even the goals we're conceding, you know, they're very, very basic. You know, that the goal, Robbie, you need to watch it back. It's such a bad goal to concede. You've got Ashley Young giving the ball away, then they just loft it into the box. You know, it's like a shot come cross, and it just goes past everyone, motionless.
Yeah, I think we all thought with Ashley Young coming in, he was going to be the one who's been there, seen it, done it, wore the T-shirt and be able to put his foot on the ball and help everyone else. But, do you know, if you're coming into a team like what we've got currently at the moment, there's going to come a time in a couple of weeks' time, if this continues, where people will go missing during the game, going, oh, no, don't give me the ball, or they're injured. Because our squad is... You know what? If we knew what players we had, and obviously next week, September the 1st, isn't it? It's up next week, isn't it? So next week, we'll know what we've got to play with for the rest of the season. And we just live in hope again, as you said, the spin. I think that's the only way I can look at it at the moment, and the spin to hopefully go, okay, there's a couple coming in, and they'll make a difference. Yeah. I can't understand the Holgate situation.
On the back of this, fans are going to be angry. You know, they're going to be pissed off, and rightfully so. We've lost 3 games in a row. We've not scored a goal. It's our worst ever historical opening to a season in top flight history for Everton Football Club. It doesn't get worse than this.
Yeah.
However, spin that back, and I've calmed down over the last 20 minutes. I've said my piece. I'm angry with Young, obviously. I'm angry with the certain things we're doing, but there's 35 games to go. We've got Dwight McNeil coming back, Jack Harrison coming back, Alex Iwobi, Calvert-Lewin will come back, Beto's coming through the door. We'll have options up front that'll be more. They'll give us more. And can we stop these pathetic goals that we're conceding? Can we coach our right back? Can we sort out the left back issue? Because already 3 games in, I'm looking at that, and Ashley Young is not my answer there at left back. He's neat and tidy with a few little things, and then you're like you're caught out, or you're too slow to react, or your delivery is not what I'm expecting. So spin it whichever way you want. I understand fans who are in the negative camp. I understand fans who are a little bit more calm and thinking of the bigger picture. You're both right, Robbie. They're both right. However fans want to feel right now, they're right to feel aggrieved and annoyed about our worst ever start. They're also right to say, shut up, calm down. We were the better team overall against Wolves, but the chances will come. I think that the lads will probably drop in and want to say a bit more about this game, objectively speaking, and divulge. But it's very clear to me that it's a case of Everton dominating 45 minutes, not taking their chances, making very similar mistakes as what they did to Fulham, left the back door open, got tired, didn't have the subs, and eventually were punished. What I want to ask people to do is, just because I have nearly 500 people watching live on Follow Everton, thank you so much for your support. We're all in this together, all this misery. And I will ask, just because we're trying to push the subscribers, I've dedicated so much time to this channel. You've got no idea. And I would really appreciate it if you can just very quickly hit the subscribe button, which is staring you in the face right now. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you had already subscribed, you can turn the little bell for notifications on, because some of our streams are impromptu. Everybody, whatever team you support, I don't care whether you're a Wolves fan on here, you want to hear an Everton fan's opinion, that's fine. Do us a favor, like the video, hit the subscribe button. It's football content, and I think it's good content. Robbie, have you got anything more you want to add about this game to the 500 nearly people watching?
Do you know what? Obviously, you've got to say to them, thanks for watching, because obviously they're clearly interested in and how we're seeing it as well. But we feel your pain, and maybe in a couple of days' time we'll have another little chat about it, and we go again for Doncaster and for Sheffield United next week. We've got to keep our games up.
People are arguing in the comments, a lot of dice in, dice out. This is it's pretty mad. Let's have a look at some of them. Mike is saying the manager is great. Mark is saying change the manager. We cannot keep changing manager. Dyche out tonight. That's from Philip. Mr. Blue Skies. Dyche picked the right team today. I think the only thing that I possibly would have looked at was maybe Dan Juma on the wing, on the right wing, James Garner in midfield, and Neil Maupay up front. But I think it would have been a calamity in terms of the fan atmosphere, even though that might have been a more effective thing to do. Just because I don't understand the James Garner one on the wing. I know he loves him, but you're asking people to do things that aren't right. Chris is saying, how expensive would it be to sack Dyche? I think he's got a year left on his contract, hasn't he?
He came on a 3-year contract. Didn't he get 3 years?
About £6 million then on that basis.
That's not Ryan. That's just not an option. Me personally, I don't think it's an option now. I just think we're already a laughing stock, aren't we? So I think we've got to go with what we've got to go with. It's lads, girls, let's try and go for the spin, as Ryan said earlier, where we've got some cracking players potentially coming in between now and next week, and we've got some of our best players to come back in a couple of weeks. I know we're losing points in the meantime, but I clearly don't see losing the manager. This is my opinion, by the way. I clearly don't see us changing the backroom staff again. Only because it's happened so many times, and it just doesn't seem to be working. I just think we've just got to keep it solid as we can, and I think we've all got to stick together. But that's my opinion.
The problem is, Robbie, that the fan base is already at high levels of toxicity. I mean, I can speak for myself and what I witness on social media on an ongoing basis. The fans are apathetic. The morale is really low. I think the fans, from what I could tell today or what I heard from those at the ground, mood was better purely because Jared Branthwaite was playing and Neil Maupay wasn't in the team. And of course, about an hour before kickoff, the news that Everton had agreed a deal and personal terms with Beto, the striker at Udinese. So you have that lift. I'm comforting myself by the fact that Everton are bringing in that striker that I think will get 10 goals to 15 goals for us this season. I'm comforting myself on that. I'm comforting myself on the fact that there are players coming back. At the same time, it is emotionally draining, Robbie. You've been with us this entire ride, more as a viewer, and now you're part of the team. you've been with us since, you know, we started this under Carlo, and it was March 2021. We were flying high. We were competing for top four. Since we started the channel, it's like we're some sort of bad omen. But that being said, I want to ask the 400 people watching, if you haven't already, please just hit that subscribe button for us. Let's get 50 subs off this video. That would be great. I'm going to go to some comments again. I've got this from Trevor Longmore. He's not happy with Tarkowski. I'm not happy with Tarkowski for that goal, but some people might say there was nothing he could do about it. Gary's not happy that we signed an 18-year-old. He's 19, if you're talking about Chimiti, and he was bright for a 19-year-old today. Douglas is giving us some comfort here. He's saying Arsenal lost the first 3 games 2 seasons ago and finished 6th. Get the comments coming in, and the mate, there's been literally 1,000 comments on this stream. I really can't get through them. Certainly with on my mobile device. I really do apologise, but they've been flashing up, and you kind of been talking amongst yourselves, and your support is incredible.
Maybe we can talk about the midweek, Ryan.
I'm not ready to think about any more games. I think the game against Doncaster we will win, of course, because our level, you know, as we've shown in pre-season, we can beat these sort of teams. But even in pre-season, we fluked past Stoke 1-0 with a last-minute header. We fluked past, sure, some of the other guys. I don't think we were that good.
Yeah.
Everyone said it was all about fitness in pre-season. I want to see some actual footballing patterns of play and all those other things.
Yeah, I'm hoping. We are hoping that it's going to come.
And do you expect it to change?
I do, yeah. It's got to change. It's got to change. You know,
we're not 3 games left. We've played 3 matches.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I can say, really. But the thing that probably winds fans up is the 3 winnable games. I'd say 2 winnable games. I'd say 4 points to 6 points is what you should be taking from those first 3 matches.
Yeah, and the fact that we go back a couple of seasons where we haven't replaced the striker, so that's the big one, isn't it? And then obviously you've got the board and whatever. So there's so many things going on to talk about. It's not just today's game. It's lots of things going on behind the scenes. So potentially Beto number 9 next week. And you know what? He could come in next week, couldn't he? Bang bang, and all of a sudden you go, like, there's our first away win, and then we're off the mark.
Yeah.
Let's
hold that thought there. Beto signs tomorrow, has a week of training. He's a 6'4" man mountain, good pace, good strength. He really has got those attributes about him. He's not quite a prolific goal scorer. I'd say he scores, I looked at the statistic last 2 seasons, 10 goals and 11 goals, a couple of assists each season, but he only played around 2,300 minutes. So I think it was working out like 25 games or something each season. So he's like a 1 and 2.5 games. Absolutely, he wants to take his game to the next level. We get him in tomorrow and we chuck him in for a week. We go to Sheffield United, and the whole team is about getting Beto chances, is about getting the ball on his head, getting the ball into him, playing around him, playing off him. And also today, now that we're a little bit calmer, 35 minutes, I was absolutely raging when I first came on and felt so deflated. But objectively, I think if we'd had Beto leading that line today and possibly Dan Juma on the right wing and more of a game plan, to supply, and Dobbin maybe just simplified it and actually, instead of trying to turn every time in his own half, did what he did really well, which was run and get the ball in. I think we get the goal. I think we get 1 goal or 2 goals. I think we were out of sight at half time in this game. This doesn't happen because Wolves' morale drops. They're out of the match. But it's like the tug of war. And tug of war is saying to me, it's not just a striker. It's the fullbacks are terrible and the midfield's got no creativity and Dyche is picking the wrong team and loads of injuries and all this sort of stuff on one side. And then on the other side of my brain is saying, actually, you know, it doesn't matter because we don't deal with this. We don't suffer. We don't face that adversity if we get that goal because we have someone who's a natural striker, which Danjuma isn't.
Yeah, Ryan, between now and next week, it will define our season, won't it? Because by the time we play Sheffield United next week, we'll know who our squad is going to be between now and January. So it's a critical week for us. So whatever money, I mean, if they started a GoFund page, I tell you, I'd go and get another paper round so as I could dip into it, because we're going to need some cash between now and next week, or we're going to need some cracking signings.
They should do some sort of crowdfunding thing where you can like get 100,000 fans globally to put £100 in. What would you get for that, Robbie? 100,000 times 100.
Is that 10 million? 10 million, yeah. But that's 100,000. That's 100,000. We've got far, yeah. We've got far more than that, haven't we? So I mean, it's quite sad that we have to talk.
100,000 people doing it, but I genuinely think you possibly could say.
No, I believe you would, yeah, for the blue jersey, absolutely. And I tell you what, I'd put another 100 quid in for someone else who can't do it.
Yeah, I love it. Gary saying Martial, I don't see that happening. The Blues, the chat's starting to hit me up yet. So the chat is a little bit crazy in there. You know, there's comments coming in. So a lot of bitter fans, you know, laughing at Everton. But, you know, have a little mercy on us. We're not coming on here. We're not deluded. We're not sat here. You know, we're suffering as a fan base. So you laugh at us, but we're not piping up to anyone. We are just literally watching our team and feeling sorry for ourselves, I think. WP says the club stinks. In many aspects, mate, I don't disagree. Ben is saying we're both chatting shit. Okay, Ben, that's fine. Put your opinion forward. Sometimes, Robbie, people put comments to get attention, to get me to react, to get us to react. There's no other way.
Ben, you're probably right, mate. But if you can do any better, then give us a shout, and you can come and join the team.
Signal went there, Rob.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't go on any other fans' forums and gloat when they're doing, like, having a hard time or a bad time. So I don't get it. It's like, okay, yeah, we're not so good at the moment. We haven't been so good for quite a while. But what are you doing on our stream? It's kind of, we're talking about our team, so we're not really wanting to talk about your team. It's kind of bizarre that Ryan's either lost the stream or whatever. So do you know what? We're going to be talking about Doncaster midweek. Today's gone again. I said that last week, didn't I? Against Aston Villa, we said it about Fulham. It's gone. Drawn the line out of it. We've got no points. We know that. We know we're rubbish at the moment. So do you know what? Things can only get better. And we've got to believe that things are only going to get better. So it's today's gone now. Ryan's cooled down. I've chilled out a little bit because you know what? Otherwise, I'm just going to be miserable all week. And you know what? And that means I've got my little granddaughter, my little grandson, and I'm not going to be able to play with them. So it's like it's gone. Today's gone, and we move on. We've got to, Ryan.
I didn't catch all of that, but I can imagine what you were saying. I'm actually I'm in Wales at the moment. I'm in Harley. It's not far from Portmaddox/Pwllheli. You ever been?
Yeah.
There's a little castle up there.
Yeah.
And I can't show you, but there's some people up there. And I think that's probably a good place to stay and hibernate until we get these players in and we can all come out of our cave. Chris is saying, is Dele injured? Yes, he's still injured. He won't be back for a little while. Amanda's a spot on. She says we need service for these players. We do. We need to simplify the games of our wide players and what they're actually trying to do. So people arguing in the comments is hilarious. John wants a right winger. Yeah. I think we'll get one.
You think
Can we not
Suleiman?
call each other names like small F and all this sort of stuff, please? I don't want to have to ban people who are literally our regulars, but like.
Ryan, why are we arguing? We're all in it together, aren't we? What's the point in arguing? Tell me, what's the point?
I think we're hoping for Burnley to have another stinker, aren't we? And Sheffield United, basically, and for those three to be worse than us. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and do you know what? Wolves and Bournemouth. I've said Wolves and Bournemouth are going to be down there as well. So it's going to be another fight again. But I'm hoping. Okay, forget midweek. It's a cup game, but obviously we want to run in the cup. Hopefully we'll beat Doncaster. We'll get off the mark. We'll score a goal. The fans can cheer. Come home and a bit of hope against Sheffield United next week. Bang, bang, bang. Go for a 2-0 away win. I'm already forecasting that for next week. And you go, right, okay, the fight's on because we've got to fight again. It's a fight.
Robbie, in all honesty, is Dyche going a bit stale?
Right. Do you know what? On the situation with Dyche, we don't know the full facts that's going on behind the scenes, do we? They're all well paid. Would a lesser man move on and just go, you know what, this is not for me. I can't be doing with you doing this and saying that and your false promises and you're a liar and whatever. He seems... Looked at his body language the other day, and you were right. He looked like it was like, here we go again. Because you know what? So it's stress levels for him as well. I know they're well paid, Ryan. I know they are well paid. And he doesn't want to be where he is at the moment, does he? No one wants to be where he is. So the stress levels go up because he's going to feel it on the pitch. There was boos at the end of it. That was more boos of frustration. It wasn't the boos like against Aston Villa last week because we were atrocious. We weren't atrocious today. We just need. I mean, I know you make your own luck, but we just need a little bit of luck because we've got so many injuries. It's only the start of the season. We can't score a goal. We haven't had a striker. DCL gets injured again, and then, you know, as you said before, our fullbacks, our defence, they're not talking to one another. But if you look at the training videos through the week, I mean, they're all up for it. They come out today. They're up for it. That was probably our best team today to do the job that we can put out today, and it didn't work. So we've got to go back to the drawing board again. We can't be arguing and slagging people off and sending all bad stuff through the internet and whatever again. Because you know what, it's not going to do you any good. It's going to affect your mental health because that's what Everton does to you. So if you see me smiling, don't think that I don't care. But I've got to smile because it's the only way I can deal with it. Otherwise, we all know what happens, don't we?
Yeah.
My rant is over.
No, I agree. And, you know, I think not every fan will agree with you. I think they'll want to see angry faces and furious and reactionary and all that sort of stuff. And I can, as I said to you before, I can see both sides of an argument here. And I can see also why some fans would be frustrated with Sean Dyche for substitutions and tactical and the sort of things. And even in this game today, you know, the last 30 minutes, I think the game went away from us and we allowed that to happen. And that comes from a little bit of the tactical side. Could we have made substitutions earlier and tried to impact it before it became pretty much a 50-50 in the last 30 minutes? I really would like to see if Jan is back from the game and whether he's going to come on and give his thoughts. So if you can hold the fort for maybe 1-2 minutes, I can find out. If not, then I think we're close to comments and wrapping up. I haven't got an awful lot more to say on that, other than really, you know, as guys, let's be real, this wasn't like Aston Villa. This was a different, again, we were quite good. We were the better team for large spells. We couldn't take our chances. We've got some issues at fullback and, you know, a lack of width and pace, but we were still the better team. Rob, are you able to hold the fort for 2 minutes?
Yeah, not a problem.
Have a look at... give us your starting lineup for Doncaster.
Starting lineup for Doncaster. So, do you know what? We've got that many injuries at the moment. I kind of go from game to game. I hadn't even thought of that one, although I was talking about Doncaster midweek. I definitely play Chimitri. Is it Chimitri? Definitely play him up front. Because let's face it, boys and girls, we can't be resting anyone, can we? Because we haven't got that. We haven't got that. Who have we got? So at the back, who would have played differently? Would have played? I play the same back. Play the same back line because again they're injured. Michael Enko's still injured. Coleman's still injured. We haven't got the luxury. Who would have play Jobin? Would have played Cannon? Yeah, sure would. I play Jobin and Cannon. I'd go 4-4-2. Yes, I was trying to think there, Ryan, because of our injury situation, we haven't got the luxury, have we, of playing a different team in the cup at midweek, because we're kind of down to the bare basics. Unless you want to play the kids, wouldn't have a problem with that. But then people will go, well, we want a cup run. So, do you want a cup run, or do we want survival? Because we can't really afford to be getting any more injuries. So, there's one for the debate.
Robbie, what I've decided to do is do a 15-minute phone-in segment here before I wrap things up, just because Jan and all that are, they're all coming out of Goodison. And I think they're very, very wound up. So I've posted the link here. The rules are simple. This stream is ending at 6 o'clock. You get 3 minutes or 4 minutes per person. I know there's desperate. There's 355 people still watching. All I can ask while we're waiting for someone to come on is smash the like button for me and subscribe to the channel. We're up to 3,000. Sorry, not 3,000. I wish. 2,420 subscribers. Let's get to 2,450 subscribers off this stream, guys. Just smash that like button, hit the subscribe for us. If anyone wants to jump on, there's the link for the last 15 minutes of the stream. And then I do have to go and actually do what I've come to Wales for when it isn't hibernate from Everton Football Club. I would love to disconnect from this, but I'm so invested now that it's hard to kind of step away, isn't it, Robbie?
I mean, the only way we could step away now, Ryan, is go somewhere far, far away on a long haul flight with no TV and no internet. It's the only way you get away with it. So there's no place to hide, is there? And I've tried it with no internet through the week, and it's quite difficult when and you're looking each day, who are we going to sign? Oh, we've got no money, and then you see the articles in the press slagging us off, and the ground's going to be delayed, and this, and you think, it just wants something to go our way, and it's got to at some point soon. It's got to go our way. It can't always be like this. I didn't sign up for this when I first went the game in 1968. I never signed up for this.
No, I know. Everyone's in far too deep now, and then they won out, but there's no way out. It's like a love affair where you just can't get away from it.
We don't want that love affair
just yet, but if you want to, there's the link there. You can literally see it. It's on the banner. We'll sit it till 6 o'clock, and then and then I've got to go. Signal's not that good anyway, so Robbie, you might end up speaking to these people. Here you go. Robbie, I'm going to hand this to you, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Chris, can you put your camera on? Thank you. Give me the thumbs up if you're ready to speak to Robbie. I'm going to be in the back end.
Hey, guys. So if we've got 3 minutes, Robbie, let's say this. A lot of people are talking about, and I think Peter and many others, how many more weeks of no points before you and some of the others think dice out? I'm still saying a few more weeks, especially responding, adding Branthwaite and some others in. I'm willing to give it a few more weeks, but that feeling of no points, no goals, when does that we'll get there start to become we need to make a change to you?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying there, my friend. And this week will define our season and probably define Sean Dyche's future, depending on who comes in and who goes out. So I can't hit the button yet and go sack him because we've done it. Where did it get us? It didn't get us anywhere. So for me, I'm not saying I'm not going to talk about it, but I've not got it on my mind. But this week,
I'm not there yet either, but I know it's definitely part of the forum here saying it, because I think it's only going to be if you lose to Sheffield and then it's no goals, no points in 4, it's only going to get louder. So I think even then, if we don't get no points after 6 or 7 matches, something's got to go. But I agree. We're still halfway there,
Yeah, 6 or 7 games, and then obviously I'm sure we could have a 10-hour phone in and go, right, what's happening? But by then, I'm sure the board will have just gone, yeah, okay, yeah, we're going to have another change, and then we're back to square one again with. I just think it's a massive week this week, and if we get that striker tomorrow over the line with the medical, and again, if we can just maybe persuade Southampton, get Suleimana in within the next week, got to be something going on with us in Southampton, because we've thrown Holgate their way. So I do believe that someone's going to be coming from Southampton our way. Now, whether it's Che Adams and Suleimana as well, I'd have both, by the way.
Next week, who knows? But hopefully.
It's a massive week, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I think if we get one striker and all of a sudden that frees up Danjuma, then Garner can go into the middle and things look a lot more comfortable. Branthwaite in central defence was great. Massive improvement. Looked about as good on the ball as Keane once he had it at his feet, but actually wasn't when he can actually defend.
Yeah.
So a lot.
And we want him to stay. Because we want him to stay, don't we? We want Branthwaite to stay. We don't want to be selling him. So I want to see him in. I want to see him there week in, week out. I want to see Tarkowski teaching him the ropes. But even our central defence today, when that 6'7" striker come on, he must have gone. Oh,
very rarely are they the small ones, But in that scenario, absolutely, it was actually the same. Wasn't he the player that was that Onana hit in week 1?
In week 1, we'll go. Okay, what do you mean?
Wolves and United. Remember when Onana came out and the whole VAR, wasn't that the same guy?
Oh, I'm not too sure about that.
Hey Ryan, do you know what I'm talking about? Like the big guy that I thought it went off his shoulder, maybe it went off his head. The guy that scored, wasn't he the one that Onana, the goalkeeper for United, punched or hit, and they didn't call the VAR on?
That, I'll be honest, I can't remember. But I'm just you just touched upon a point there with the goal. The way I saw it was that it just went straight in from the cross, come shot. That's how I
definitely hit him.
It hit him. He scored. It was a header in.
I thought it was his shoulder, but on replay I haven't looked at it. Maybe it was off his head, but it looked fluky. But that's just our luck,
When you're 6'7", do you hit any part of your body? Because you're going to get up there taller than anyone else, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't have that problem. I'm 5'6", so.
So the reality is, possibly I will retract what I said about Patterson should head it away. Maybe he's just a big lad and he can't do anything about it. Is that right?
I would have said it was Tarkowski's mistake because he misread it, and the cross was enough that it went over Tarkowski's head and he was out of position. If you're close enough to that player, you still make it tough enough, even with his height, that I don't think he would have made the contact he did. I think he was probably about, I don't know, a meter off, too far ahead of the ball.
Yeah, I see it how you see it, Tarks. For me, in my opinion, I say should have been stronger.
Yeah, it wasn't his best game. That was the one thing I would say that was positive about Keane and the team, and that's one of the only positive and lots of negatives. He's comfortable on the ball and passing. I think Branthwaite is that player. Tarkowski doesn't have that comfort. When he passes, it's kind of heavy and bounces a lot, and probably really slows down our movement forward. So maybe Tarkowski plays further back, and Branthwaite is that person that actually passes and gets the ball upfield.
Yeah, he's our John Stones, isn't he? That's how I see him.
Yeah, don't want to give him too much pressure just coming on after week 1, but
don't put them in the same bracket. Don't put them two in the same bracket just yet. Chris, thanks so much for dropping on. Much appreciate that.
All right.
Cheers, Chris.
You guys.
See you soon.
Ta-ra, bud.
Robbie, I've exhausted everything I want to say. I've came on here angry. I'm leaving with a smile on my face. But actually inside, I'm very annoyed, pissed off.
Yeah, right. We've got to smile, Ryan, and I mean, you've got your work to do. You can't go to work now with your angry head on, because you're never going to get no more work, are you? So it's kind of just got to now detach yourself and go, it's gone. I can't fix it. It's the past. Midweek, the future, next week, Sheffield United, we go again. It's the only way I can deal with this season.
I agree. Listen, guys, thank you so much for watching. Apologies that we didn't have more people on. I've got Dave Weston on holiday. I've got Stevie on holiday. And I've also got John on holiday, who are all part of the home post-match reaction team. And then, as you know, the others go the game. I would normally be at the game, but I'm working at town this evening, so I couldn't be in two places at once and still make it to what I need to be. So I have to go now. Robbie, thanks for your company. All of those in the comments, I really appreciate you coming on and supporting it. Please make sure you like, and if you haven't already subscribed, just subscribe for us. That would be great, and we'll see you next time. And one thing that I say, you know, with the comments, I haven't really got the access to moderate things from here because I'm on my phone, so I do apologize. There was a little bit of tasty and I think unfortunate types of comments that were coming in between people that I think were inappropriate. So we'll have to deal with that when I'm on a different setup. But Rob, go and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm at the point where I'm not. I very quickly detach from football, and I go from, oh, I'll watch that Man City match, I'll watch that Liverpool game, I'll watch that Sheffield game. I'm now not interested. I'm not interested until Everton can get the players in, make it respectable for us, and then I'll look at it more objectively and just get Beto in, get him announced tonight, get the deal done as soon as you can, and give us some positivity. Guys, see you soon. Thank you.
Look after yourself, everyone.